Hi, you guys. Welcome back. And of course, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all about my son who is in middle school, who had his pizza party taken away by a party pooping principal. So stay tuned for the whole story. Right before winter break, my son was supposed to have a pizza party for his class on Thursday, December 19th. And so when that day finally came, he was so excited for this pizza party that he didn't even eat breakfast. And of course, he is only in 7th grade. He's a 13-year-old boy, and he has been excited and looking forward to this pizza party at school for such a long time. He and his class have actually been working for months towards this pizza party. The teacher was actually doing a contest between her two classes, and whoever earned, I guess, the most stars or did the best work was the one to earn this pizza party before the winter break. So Thursday came, it was the day for the pizza, and he was so excited. And then, all of a sudden, I got a text from him while he was at school. After Chase told me about the principal and what the principal did, I said, "Oh my gosh, Chase, that is just not fair." And then he proceeded to tell me that the teacher was left crying in front of her class based on how the principal treated her that day. And that to me was so completely unacceptable. So I then messaged my husband and asked if he had heard of this pizza party debacle, and he had. And he was mad. So my husband decided to email the principal of Brody Middle School to find out exactly what happened and why the children could not have this pizza party, which they have spent months earning and days looking forward to after they knew they had won. So my husband Neil wrote, "Good morning. I don't mean to be trivial or come off as rude, but my son Chase is a 7th grader at the school. I emailed about a few issues that he was having a couple of weeks ago, and then get messages from him this morning in regards to a pizza party that his class had earned. He has talked about it at home for 2 days. He was excited for it. I'm sure he was not the only student excited for it. I mean, for some of these kids, it might be the best thing they eat for the rest of the year. Something fun and something different. From my understanding, the pizzas were delivered and then taken away from the kids and distributed to the staff, which, by the way, became untrue. Some of the kids were saying that they had heard that that's what was happening with the pizza. But that's addressed later." So anyway, he said, "Do you know how bad that sounds? How sad that is? You have some disappointed and confused kids in that class as to why they lost their party. You don't reward kids and then take it away like that. I really can't believe this happened, and I'm extremely disappointed in the way it was handled. I would like to hear your feedback and get understanding as to why this occurred. Thanks, Neil Erickson." So he had sent that message at 11:17 a.m. and finally at 12:42 p.m. he received this reply from the principal of Brody Middle School. The principal replied to Neil's email and said, "Hello, and thanks for reaching out. We certainly want to create a learning community where there are rewards and celebrations with students. Pizza parties, however, have been consistently problematic. Health regulations, sense of what is fair for some of the kids who get pizza and others do not, etc. It creates a culture of haves and have-nots with teachers and students, and there are 1,000 ways to reward, recognize, and incent, celebrate, and recognize students. When we do recognize students with a snack or food, we do it for all students in every classroom school-wide. No pizza parties were communicated consistently and well in advance with students and all staff. Number 1, during pre-service with teachers and staff and students. And number 2, just again last Thursday with all classroom teachers. That is the consistent and clearly communicated expectation in advance with everyone on the first day of school and again with teachers just last week. Today, in spite of that clear and consistent expectation and advanced communication, a teacher went ahead anyway. I certainly apologize for the inconsistent communication from one classroom teacher, and I have again reinforced that expectation with the one classroom teacher. Please let me know if you would like to talk further or if you have questions about what happened today. Tom Hoffman. I would like to point out that in his email he states, and I have again reinforced that expectation with the one classroom teacher. Do you know how he reinforced that expectation? He reinforced it by the text my son already sent me, by taking away the pizza that the kids had already earned and the teacher had already paid for. He stole the pizza that the teacher did not ask the school to pay for. She paid for it out of her very own pocket. This is no way to reinforce your school's rules, and this is no way to tell a parent why it happened, especially at the beginning of the email where he says it creates a culture of haves and have-nots with teachers and students. There are 1,000 ways to reward, recognize, and incent, celebrate, and recognize students. Well, Mr. Hoffman, I agree. And I also think that there are 1,000 other ways that you could have handled this situation at the very moment inside of my son's classroom. So, of course, I did send a reply to Mr. Hoffman. So at 1:35 p.m., I wrote, "Mr. Hoffman, I don't believe you handled this incident properly by taking away pizza party that was earned and promised to the children. Your actions in this case were unacceptable, in my opinion. This is something you could have handled without punishing the kids who earned the pizza party. The kids are the one who should always be on your mind, being the leader of a middle school. You could have let them have their pizza and then discuss it with the teacher at a later time. Let's not forget how you handled this. You were wrong. The teacher was having fun with her class and should have been allowed to do so. I hope that you do not reprimand this teacher any further than you have by embarrassing her in front of her class and reducing her to tears. Look in your heart of hearts and know that you are the bad guy here, not the teacher. Shame on you." And of course, I put "you" in capital letters at the very end. I believe that everything that I said in this reply is completely true. He could have gone about this in a much more professional manner, being the leader of this school and also the boss of this teacher. Instead, he was bullying the whole class, including the teacher, and then blames the fact that there are no pizza parties because if one classroom gets pizza, then the rest of the school should also be getting pizza. But doesn't that take away from this reward program that the teacher had already set up at the beginning of the school year? And don't you think that the teacher already knew what allergies that her students in her class since the beginning of this year have? I don't really believe for 1 minute that this teacher cared so much about the allergy issue. That the principal cared so much about that. He clearly was just upset that she went against his rule, his own personal policy. Because keep in mind, this is not the no pizza party policy is not a policy across all Des Moines public schools. The policy is a Tom Hoffman policy, the principal of Brody Middle School, who decides that in his culture of learning, he doesn't want to create the culture of haves and have-nots. But he created a whole classroom of have-nots when he took the pizza away, and it was pizza that the teacher paid for. So this is the part that you guys might be aware of, because my husband was so angry that he decided to post about this pizza party incident on Facebook. Then this Facebook post kind of took on a mind of its own. And there are news agencies across the entire world now reporting on the principal who took away the pizza party. So let me go ahead and read the post that Neil put on his own personal Facebook page. So on December 19th, after hearing about this from our son and emailing the principal, Neil wrote, "My son attends Brody Middle School here in Des Moines. His class earned a pizza party that I believe the teacher paid for. He has been excited for this for days, telling me about it and how they earned it. Well, today was the day. The pizzas were delivered to the class. The teacher paid and signed the receipt. Principal walks into the classroom and says, 'I never approve pizza parties,' or something to that effect. He took the pizzas from the kids and let them sit in the office for the teacher to pick up after school. Now my son and his classmates lost the party they worked hard to earn, and the pizza, I'm sure, is wasted now. And the teacher was left in tears. I just can't believe it." An update. Pizzas were not taken for the staff to eat. They were boxed back up to rot so that the teacher can take them home at the end of the day. So that simple post was shared with some of Neil's friends, and then those friends shared it, and those friends shared it, and soon enough, there were, currently at the time of this filming, there are 2.9 thousand comments and 3.4 thousand shares, and 2.9 thousand people have reacted with angry, wow, and sad faces. And so this definitely went viral. And by the time that Neil and I got off work, Neil was being contacted by the local news, the KCCI Channel 8 News. And so he ended up going down to their studio and doing a short interview about this because it seemed to really touch the hearts of our community. Some were angry. Some felt bad for the children. Most of the people felt as though this teacher's right to teach in her classroom however she sees fit was taken from her, whereas there were a very select few who actually sided with the principal in the matter. In my opinion, the principal is the Grinch. Let me tell you why. He took the gift that the teacher gave the class and he stole it away from them right before their Christmas break. Just like the Grinch. But after enough backlash and after possibly hearing and reading what everyone had to say about it, maybe his heart grew a few sizes on that day. Because in the end, he came out with another statement after already telling the news his first statement, basically stating that he apologized for acting rashly. He came out with another statement saying that they just couldn't do that party that day due to some logistics reasons or something like that. But either way, his heart grew a little bigger, and my son's class was now allowed on Friday, December 20th, to have their pizza party for their class only. He first said that this is creating a culture of have and have-nots. He also said that they could have pizza if the entire school could have pizza. And then he also said that if the community wants to donate pizza for all 700 students at Brody Middle School, then they can have their pizza. But in the end, my son's class only had a pizza party in the library where they were able to have their reward of a pizza party for only their class on Friday, December 20th. So even though the story had to change for this to happen and maybe some ego had to be toned down, it did eventually take place. The pizza party happened. The kids got their reward. So I want to know what you guys think. Is this the Grinch? Let us know in the comments down below. I mean, he was kind of acting like a Grinch. In the end, there is a happy ending to this pizza party problem that we've been having at Brody Middle School. So the community here in Des Moines, Iowa is so friendly and kind for the most part that we have actually had so many offers from local pizza places and even the national chain pizza restaurants who want to come together and make this right for Brody Middle School and all of the students. My husband actually emailed the principal once again. So in the end, my husband wanted to apologize. He had no idea that his simple Facebook post to his friends and family would have gone viral the way that it did. And evidently, the school had been receiving a lot of phone calls, probably a lot of emails as well, basically a lot of backlash based on this principal's actions. He wrote, "Good morning. I wanted to start by saying I really had no idea that a post from me on Facebook would catch fire like it did. As you know, I really did feel the situation could have been handled a little differently, and I had my son's disappointment in mind. I do apologize for any of the backlash that this caused Brody Middle School, yourselves, and any staff. That was certainly not my intention. However, because of this, I have had several local pizza places reach out to help Brody have an all-school pizza party. I have a commitment from Pizza Hut for 40 to 50 pizzas. Gusto has committed 20 more, and I know Mamma Mia's and Pie Guys also want to help. So if I can get those two to commit to some pizza, we could get around 110 pizzas for the whole school. Because of the volume of pizzas, I just need to let them know a couple of days in advance so that they are prepared for the order. Furthermore, KCCI would really like to do a follow-up story the day of the school-wide pizza party at Brody to create that happy ending people will love. I can organize the event as far as getting the pizzas to the school. I would like to do this sooner than later, so I was thinking that we could do this on the first Friday after the holiday break, which I believe would be January 3rd. Please let me know if this will work. So Neil sent that email on Friday, December 20th at 8:33 a.m. And the principal, Mr. Hoffman, replied December 20th at 1:47 p.m. And he said, Mr. Erickson, good afternoon and apologies for the delay in getting back to you from this morning. Seems that we agree that celebration and student recognition is important. As you may know by now, yesterday's pizza recognition in class was held today during student lunchtime, which is our protocol to make sure that even the kids who don't eat pizza are able to eat school lunch or lunch from home and celebrate with the rest of their class during the celebration. I appreciate your sincerity and that your concern was for your son. And with you, I am sad that this has grown into what it has become. Thank you for reaching out and considering and coordinating a pizza event for our school. In fact, Casey's also called to collaborate with me and wants to also plan a school-wide event. I think that this is a silver lining in the whole situation. They're going to communicate, get together, come together with these pizza places. Neil's going to come together with this principal, and they are going to create a pizza party event for the entire Brody Middle School. So just like all the Who's in Whoville, we are all going to come together and we're going to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with a giant pizza party for the entire Brody Middle School. So I do want to thank all of the local and national pizza stores who have literally looked at this and decided that they wanted to help in some way. Thank you so much to all of you. It really shows that you care about these kids, and that's the whole point. I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that you all have big hearts this year. Cheers to Christmas time. Cheers to the Grinch's heart growing just a few sizes on that day. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.